Welcome to all for the course Electronic Measurements and Instrumentation. The unit 1 is block schematics of measuring system. So in unit 1 we are going to cover, we'll start with the general block diagram of measurements and instrumentation system, then followed by the performance characteristics, then measuring instruments under this. So we'll cover the DC voltmeters, directional moment based measuring systems like DC current meter, AC voltmeter and ohm meter, multimeters, true RMS responding voltmeters and specifications of instruments. Let's try to understand the measurement and instrumentation. So first, measurement means a method or a process to obtain information regarding the physical values of the variable. So any variable means the quantity under measurement here. So throughout the measurement process, we try to find out the physical values of the variable, that is quantity under measurement. Whereas instrument is a mechanism or the devices which we are using to obtain the physical values of the variable. So means in a devices or mechanism used in measurement system is nothing but a instrument or instrumentation. So let's try to see the relation between measurement and instrumentation and the entire process. So now in our domestic life we come across many measurement and measuring processes, and if you see, the simple conclusion is every measurement is finally conveyed in terms of a systematic standard physical quantities. So the standard physical quantities which we are using to represent the physical quantity under measurement is called the units, the measurement units. So now without the units, the number obtained by measuring has no physical meaning. It means every measurement process is expressed in terms of these units. The next, we'll start with the block schematic of an instrument. So means general block diagram of an instrument. So as just now we defined, instrument is a device or mechanism used in finding the measurement or in finding the quantity, physical quantity of the variable under measurement. So in entire process, the instrument which is involved in finding the physical quantity of the measurement can be divided into three parts, three stages. So means the process or mechanism which we are using in finding the quantity under measurement can be divided into three stages. So means here the instrument, the process of instrument implementation can be divided into three stages. Stage 1, input stage, intermediate stage and output stage. So in input stage, the quantity under measurement means the measurand, means what exactly you are trying to measure. So that physical quantity is coming and interacting with an instruments. In input stage, basically your input, the quantity under measurement is coming in contact with your device or mechanism. So in input stage, when any quantity or physical variable under measurement is interacting, it will be sensed and the physical quantity under measurement is transformed to some other quantity so that you can process them or you can calibrate them or you can convey them easily. So this process of converting physical quantity into one form to other form is nothing but a transduction operation. So means input stage is basically sensing the input quantity under measurement, and some applications it is transforming the input quantity. So this conversion is nothing but a transduction. The instrument or the element which involved in conversion or doing this transduction is nothing but a transducer. So means finally the input stage is primarily doing two different roles. One is contact, means sensing the primary quantity, prime physical quantity under measurement, and transducer operation. So input stage basically consists playing two major jobs here. So one is sensing the physical quantity and transduction operation. So once the after sensing and converting the physical quantity into one format to other format, or one variable to other variable for a next stage convenience purpose, then coming to intermediate stage. So after doing the variable conversion, now the converted variable is to be processed in such a way that the after doing the conversion manipulation, the results will be successfully conveyed in such a way that the after manipulation, whatever the variable quantity is there, it directly conveys the primary quantity which is under measurement. So means here, so intermediate stage basically doing variable manipulation operation. So means the output from input stage is nothing but a variable or sometimes signals. Both are same here. You can assume variable and signal. So the intermediate stage is taking the input from the primary stage. So under intermediate stage, again you can identify two different major jobs here. One is variable conversion or variable conditioning. Okay. So means under intermediate stage, the transduced variable means after transducer operation, whatever the format of the input physical quantity is available with us, it will be processed, it will be adjusted in such a way that you can straight away identify the equivalent value of the physical quantity under measurement. So in intermediate stage, basically you are doing some kind of manipulation on a variable or signal. So manipulation example, suppose if you take a electronic weighing machine. So in input stage, the weighing machine is trying to coming in contact with the physical quantity, the weight which you are putting on the weighing machine. In input stage, apart from the coming in contact, the input stage is converting your mass of the object into equivalent electrical signal. So this is what in input stage you can identify in considered analogy. So now coming about intermediate stage. So once the electrical signal is generated by using weighing machine input stage, in intermediate stage, so this available electrical signal is processed in such a way that you will calibrate the resultant electrical signal into its equivalent mass. So under the input, before you trying to calibrate and trying to bring out the equivalent mass of the electrical signal, you need to pre-process the electrical signal. So means pre-processing means under input stage, you are doing certain kind of variable or signal manipulations or conditionings. So means exactly the whatever the input signal you obtained from the sensor of the weighing machine will be going through different stages of filtering and amplification. So these kind of operations which you are doing before you derive the physical quantity under measurement. Before you try to understand uh, mm, the physical quantity under measurement, whatever operations you are doing in here before you derive the output is nothing but intermediate stage. So in our example, the weighing machine, we are doing filtering, amplification, or the operations which are performing on a electrical signal. And after doing this filtering, amplification, now the whatever the resultant signal is there, that will be calibrated in terms of equivalent modes. Means suppose after doing filtering and amplification, if 1 volt electrical signal is available, means it can be identified as 1 kg. If 2 volts electrical signal you are getting after doing intermediate stage, so means you can identify as a 2 kg. So in this way, in intermediate stage, whatever the variable you are getting from input stage, it will be pre-processed before you derive the conclusions. So means example, in our example, amplification and filtering or any other operation which you are doing for your instrument's purpose is comes under intermediate stage. So basically in intermediate stage you are doing variable conditioning and variable manipulation. So these are the two jobs you are performing in intermediate stage. So this variable conditioning and variable manipulation is only to improve the quality of the variable, so that your calibration or your output quantity or output and result which you are showing from your instrument will be more accurate. So to increase the accuracy of the instrument, so these intermediate stage for operations are mandatory. So in intermediate stage, basically you can identify, you can understand, here we are doing variable manipulation, variable conditioning sort of operations. Example for these you can take in electronics: amplification, attenuation and filtering. Many other, as per your application, as per your requirements, you can choose different electronics related or electrical related operations here. So after this intermediate stage, now this pre-processed variable or signal, it to be sent to the last stage, that is output stage. So basically output stage is nothing but where your result will be calibrated and displayed. So where your result will be indicated. So means output stage basically indicating stage, or you can also use many storage devices as output stage here. In such kind of remote applications where your input stage is somewhere and your output stage is somewhere, so in an example, uh, geo sensing applications, yeah, satellite is acting like a input stage. With the help of cameras and sensors available in satellite, you are trying to sense and trying to convert one physical variable into some other physical variable. So maybe sometimes the satellite is also consisting intermediate stage, so means some kind of physical manipulation, variable manipulation, conditioning you are doing satellite. But after that the analysis is not possible. You cannot do analysis output stage in satellite, so that output of intermediate stage need to be transmitted to the end stage, output stage, where the display devices and analyzers or storage devices are available. So means at the station where you are doing the analysis of the data. So in such cases, in between intermediate and output stage, one data transmission stage need to be added here. So basically this kind of unit, this module is only used in remote applications where your input intermediate stages are somewhere and your output stage is somewhere. In such applications, these two must be connected with the data transmission unit. So means data transmission means simple transmitters and receivers are used here. So using these transmitter and receivers, you are trying to interface the different stages of the instruments. So finally, the total process of mechanism of instrument using which you are trying to express or measure the physical quantity under measurement is consisting three stages. Input stage, where physical quantity under measurement is coming in contact with instrument, and this will be transformed to one variable to other variable. Coming about second stage, intermediate stage, where before you calibrate and express the output, it need to be processed with several kind of different multiple processes. So whatever pre-processing, whatever the different way jobs you are doing in intermediate stage are nothing but a like variable conditioning and variable conversions. Okay, so the intermediate stage is basically improve the accuracy of the instrument. So means without pre-processing you cannot straight away take into consideration of the input quantity under measurements. So once doing this, if variable conditioning and conversion, it will be connected to output stage, so where the calibrated variable is displayed, and it can be shown as a physical quantity and in terms of the standard units. So basically output stage